Welcome to the App Advisory Show, your fortnightly dose of all things cloud accounting, apps, and app advisory.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the App Advisory Show. I've got a long-time friend actually who I've known for quite a while, although we were saying that we haven't seen each other properly for a couple of years, but I'm delighted to have Paul Lodder on from now Dext. I used to introduce him from an accounting firm in the past, but from Dext, who's going to talk to us a little bit about the products and some of his thoughts and experience from being part of an accounting firm and also now in this new world of SaaS and products. So thanks a lot for giving us your time today, Paul.
No, it's a pleasure. I'm delighted to be joining you on this podcast today. I know we used to do lots of things in the past, so I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Yeah, so we've crossed paths a few different ways. I've been in to see you as a firm. You've come to some of the sessions that I used to run. I've seen you at the Xero cons and the QB Connects and all the other stuff. So we've been on a few panels together. So
yeah,
we have swapped stories over the years, not this year, but hopefully I'm sure I'll be seeing you in a few more of the sessions coming up. But for people who don't know you, tell us a little bit about you, Paul.
Yeah, so as you said, so previously I worked in practice. I was actually in practice for 21 years, a firm based up north. Size of firm was about 100 team members, so a decent sized firm.
Yeah.
I'm a member of the ACCA, and my role, I suppose, in the last 5 years when I was in practice and when I was a partner in the firm was sort of driving the digital strategy for not only the practice but also for our clients as well. So I helped move over 1,000 clients plus onto products like Xero, QBO, Receipt Bank was as it was when I was in practice. And I just thoroughly enjoy all of the tech side and how technology helps accountants, bookkeepers and their clients as well. And I made the decision to move to Dext just over 14 months ago.
Yeah, so I mean, we were saying before that a different world from professional services business into a product and SaaS. So you've probably got completely different ends of the world of being part of that. Has that been quite eye-opening, like the difference in that world?
It has been, yeah, completely eye-opening. You know, from being within the same firm for over 20 years, timesheets every day, six-minute units, all the issues that come from working in practice as an accountant bookkeeper to suddenly working for a tech company where you're on the other side of the fence and it's all about product roadmaps, it's all about implementation, it's making sure that what we're doing is actually meeting the user's needs. So yeah, completely different. But the great thing is I spend my time bringing the accounting knowledge not only from what I've built up over the years, but from speaking with partners across the world, really.
So you mentioned Receipt Bank earlier, which is, I think, a lot of people still think about Receipt Bank as Dext, and we had this rebrand over a year ago, I think now, probably about a year ago.
Yeah.
I think with that, tell people a little bit about what that Dext range is now, because it's no longer just formally Receipt Bank. There's a product range to that. So give us a bit of an overview of what Dext is encompassing now.
Yeah, exactly right. So we have 3 products. So we've got Dext Prepare, which was, many of you will be aware of, was the sort of traditional Receipt Bank.
Yeah.
We have Dext Commerce and we have Dext Precision. And the way I look at it is you've got Dext Prepare and Dext Commerce, which really sit before your accounting system, whether it be Xero, QBO, Sage. We've got integrations with sort of 20 different systems, and those products are getting the information in. So Dext Prepare focuses very heavily on your cost side, traditional sales invoices, because not everyone raises their sales invoice in their accounting system. They may do it in Word, and then that can be uploaded into Dext, and we'll extract all of that information. We've also got the bank functionality as well, so upload PDF bank statements, we'll extract all of that information for you. So Dext Prepare very much helps get all of the information in. will extract all of the information, and will also, via dashboards, give you some sort of powerful insights in terms of state of play for each client. Commerce, which is an acquisition last year, deals with more online digital sales. I actually love Dext Commerce because I know the challenges that come from accounting for online sales. So Commerce will connect to products like Amazon, Etsy, eBay, PayPal, pull all of that information in, standardize all of the data, deal with line by line transactions, deal with cut-off errors, grossing up, and then all of that can be published into your accounting system. So those two products before. Then we've got Precision, which is that comfort blanket, and also advisory tools. So Precision is constantly checking the numbers behind the scenes, making sure that the transactions have been posted accurately, have you accounted for the VAT correctly, but then it goes further with bespoke reporting tools, flows to bring in standardization within the practice to make sure that everyone's following the same process, making sure you're not overdoing the work, over servicing, which can often be the case, and then lots of insights as well that you can then speak to your clients about, and that therefore sits after your accounting system, integrates with Xero and QBO, pulling data, and helps you have your finger on the pulse, have that visibility you need across all of your clients without having to go into each individual client.
Yeah. That's quite a range. You haven't got to say anything, but I'm guessing there'll be some more things because we seem to be in that world at the moment. So we'll see how that range grows over time. But in terms of you mentioned like how you're bringing the accounting knowledge into Dext. Are you working across all those solutions and giving feedback and input? Like how does you give as much away or as little away as you want, but like how do you input to those?
I do. I work across all of those products because, through all the years I was in practice, starting from a graduate all the way through to a partner level, as many of the listeners will know, you pick up a lot as you go through your career and at different levels within the practice or firm that you work for. So, I will help on maybe technical aspects, as in that doesn't quite work from an accounting point of view. We haven't got the flow right, all the way through to the sort of insights that could be of value to our users. And then working on future products or future features and bringing that experience and knowledge to the table, saying actually, partner in a firm would love it if we could provide these insights, but the person doing the VAT return, actually what they want is this functionality or this, because depending on the role you are, it depends on how you use our products as well, and what elements of use to you and what elements, in all honesty, you don't really worry about, and a partner in a firm, high level, big visibility, someone doing the work, they want the detail, they want to know how is it going to make their life easier.
Okay. And I bet bringing that type of knowledge, it must throw at some pretty different conversations, because obviously when you're developing, when you're developing a product, you're thinking it's hard to get in the mindset of somebody else. So bringing you in to give some clarity and sanitize maybe the thought process, probably quite an interesting job, to be fair.
I absolutely love it. It's a great role, and the really nice thing is I've now recruited recently in France, in Canada and Australia, and another person for the UK, all accountants as well, because of the sort of, and this is where I think all software companies in the accounting space should really consider, is actually having that internal knowledge from individuals who have worked in practice, who really understand some of the challenges, can add a huge amount of value and really go into some of that detail that you can't just get from having a half an hour call with somebody, and all companies will have research teams who will reach out, and I'm sure many of the listeners have contributed to that, and that is incredibly valuable. But sometimes you just want to go that bit further, and that's where I can really make a difference and really have an impact and take that conversation to the next level.
Yeah, it's really interesting because when you're on the other side of the table at the firm, you know, you must have had some like frustrations, even maybe with Dext, right? You'll be like, oh, if they
100%.
just did that, or if they just did it this way, or whatever it might be, even if it's the commercial element or the product element, it must be really interesting to sort of turn that on its head and actually be able to influence that.
It's really interesting because I know, you know, I had some frustrations when I was in practice on most of the products I probably had, and I'm sure everyone does. It's just like,
exactly.
oh, I just wish it could just do this, or why does it do it this way?
Yeah.
You know, now I've got the opportunity to really talk about it and explain why some of these things can be quite frustrating to the user.
Yeah.
You know, because it may not seem much, but actually it can be quite a big thing. So, you know, I was talking to the team earlier about some of the reporting functionality in Prepare and Precision. And one of my biggest frustrations was you couldn't export with the client code. And the client code is often the source of truth.
Yeah.
Because names can change between systems and whether it's practice management. But if you get the client code in a report, you can at the least map that to a client code from another report, and it just makes life that little bit easier.
Yeah, okay. So that's again an insight based on experience that is useful for the end user, in this case being an accountant or bookkeeper. Right, okay, interesting. So in terms of the solutions, you mentioned a few things there, and like I'd love you really, because basically you've been on the other side of the fence and now you're on the product side of the fence, like some key, like you mentioned like green Dext commerce and things like that. Like what are some of your favorite parts of these products that people should, you know, from your experience, really be honing in on a little bit?
Yeah, I think God, there's a few. So let's start with Dext Prepare.
Yeah.
One of the features I really like in Dext Prepare, but people don't always see the immediate value for, is actually a feature we have, line item extraction.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons I really like this feature is when you're doing your year-end compliance work, what many accountants, bookkeepers will do is if you're doing the tax computation for the company, you're doing an analysis of repairs, maybe sundry expenses, legal and professional. And what you'll do is you'll load up the invoice, you'll type it into the comp directly and go, you know, set of keys, general repairs, whatever. And you do all of this analysis, just lifting the information off. Whereas line item extraction in Dext Prepare, we extract all of that detail for you. So that then all gets published to your accounting system. So when you get to your year end, you actually only have to just download the nominal ledger code. So just download repairs and everything's already analysed for you. You're not having to repeat it. So line item extraction for me is one of those, you get a delayed benefit for it at a later date. It can also be a benefit when you're looking at a VAT return, reviewing a VAT return. If you haven't got the details there, you don't always know whether the VAT treatment's correct. If you've got the description pulled through, it can just make life easier. So I wouldn't turn line item extraction on everything because it wouldn't make sense, but in core areas, you know, it can be of benefit. So that's one of my favorite features in Dext Prepare. The other thing in Dext Prepare is I often refer to it as no hands accounting or hands-free accounting, that if you use fetch, auto categorization, auto publish, you can get the invoice from going in all the way through. You don't even see it. Again, you don't use it on everything because, you know, if you were to use it on Amazon, the category is likely to change from, so use it on things like gas and electricity, utility bills, or accountancy invoices that you send yourself. You know you're not going to change them. You know the nature of the transaction isn't going to change. These are where you can really automate some of the processes. In terms of commerce, the big thing for me on commerce is, you know, because it's line by line extraction, because it separates out sales from costs, refunds, everything else, and charges, all of the grossing up is done for you automatically. So you don't, you know, in the past when you're doing it manually, you may have sold something on eBay for £100, but the amount you're getting is £97. You're then doing this £3 adjustment. Commerce, it's £100, it's the £3. It goes to a control account effectively in your accounting system. You then just do a transfer just to mop it all up. And because it, so I love that functionality and that standardization and the grossing up and everything. But then it's all the VAT pain points as well that often come with online sales. And we've got some real advanced mapping behind the scenes that can ensure that you're treating the VAT correctly. So, all of that compliance is really powerful. And then in precision, I know everyone probably talks about cleanup tools and health score and things like that. Whereas for me, putting on a partner hat, what I love about precision is if you've got your clients connected, you can get full visibility of all of your clients in one fell swoop. Now that means you can decide what's the visibility, what do you want to see about on those clients? And one of the things I liked on that was actually overdrawn directors loan accounts. So long list of all of your clients. These are the ones with an overdrawn director's loan account. These are the ones which actually have an overdrawn balance more than £10,000. So you've got a P11D issue. These are the ones that potentially have a section 455 issue for tax. Pull out the net assets as well, pull out whether any dividends have been declared. It just helps tax planning, remuneration planning as well. There's obviously a lot in precision, but it was more the global visibility for my role that I loved. Whereas I know my team, they'll have loved the sort of the VAT checker.
Yeah.
And getting comfort that the VAT return's right.
Yeah. I think what that allows you to do when you get that visibility of everything, you can start to interrogate by exception. And that's very difficult to do, right? If you don't have that, because you've got to go into everything once. Whereas realistically, I just feel it's a real point of bringing the problems to the fore or areas of investigation right in front of you. And that's where I think it could really add benefit. And to be fair, like the general ledgers have said for years, they're going to have this type of availability and we haven't yet seen it. So I think Precision is one of the first products which sort of brought this to life, this general visibility or overall visibility.
Yeah, and the dashboards, I think, are so useful because you can tailor them to meet your needs. And actually something I've been exploring this week, because you can export the client code with the report from Precision. And if you think about your practice management system, you can download or export data around write-offs and recoverability.
Yeah.
Now imagine combining the write-offs, recoverability, what you've billed from your practice management system with the number of transactions per client that we're pulling through from within Precision. And you're going, well, actually, the number of transactions for this client is increasing month on month. And also, has anyone noticed that our write-offs are going up month on month as well? So I think there's some real opportunities to combine data from different systems to take the conversations to a much more powerful decision-making process, rather than just going, our write-off's not very good here, or our recoverability is not very good.
And also being able to view that in relative real time, right? So, even if it's done that once a month, that update, at least you've got a view. You're not waiting until month 15 to find out we're still, we've written stuff off the last 12 months and now we're in this year, we're doing it for 3 months this year already.
Yeah, 100%. Precision should mean there's no surprises.
Yeah.
Precision should mean that you're always aware of any potential issues, because you can get the insights that you need. So, we're coming up to the end of the tax year, 21-22 tax year. What I'd be doing with Precision at the moment is making sure that we've looked at all of our clients. Have we declared the dividend up to the nil rate band? Do we have overdrawn account issues? Is there anything we need to solve at this point in time? It's that for a partner is very powerful, who can then just go and speak to the manager or the team and go, have we looked at this? And if we have, brilliant. If we haven't, we've got time.
Just going back as well to prepare, one of the things you touched on there was like the no hand stuff, right? But key one for me has always been auto publish, and I think this is one of the most underutilized tools going, because I think what people forget to do is to actually go back and revisit the client. So of course you can't really automate something which you've just started. So when you've had like a handful of invoices through, it's very hard to work out what you can start to automate. But if you're revisiting that 3 months down the line, 6 months down, or every 3 months, and you just switch a couple onto that auto publish, you're just moving little percent at a time over different clients. You're just reducing the amount of clicks, the amount of things you're going into. And personally, I just think that there should be like a police who go in and check this every now and again and just update. Yeah, we'll just add couple more on.
100%. And I've been working on some new features within Prepare that will help drive this automation further. In terms of better insights. You'll be able to see, common suppliers or the highest level number of suppliers without some of these features turned on, to really help see where some of the potential early wins are.
Low-hanging fruit there, right?
Yeah, there is, because as you say, it's like you do the bookkeeping this month, you go, right, I'll remember next month, I'll make sure we put this through auto publish. But everyone's time pressured at the moment. There's a lot of demand, more than ever, on accountants and bookkeepers. So it just gets kicked down the road. And then next month it's like, right, I'll do a point forward to remember to do it, and they'll write, and then it just doesn't happen. So we're working very much on providing insights so you don't forget, and can help you identify which areas can you potentially see the greatest gains.
Yeah, that's interesting. That'll be interesting to see how that transpires and what that looks like. And in terms of Dext Commerce, I thought it was a really clever move, actually, because obviously pandemic, much more online. I mean, like Shopify mentioned how many more shops they've got online through the pandemic, and do the same for Amazon and eBay and Etsy and all of those online areas. So a pretty interesting move, but actually, pretty obvious move, to be honest, if you're going to be looking at online selling. How have you found that world then of do you think there's more awareness of those type of tools by the SMA, but also by the accountant and bookkeeper world? Do you think that awareness has improved a little bit?
I think awareness is improving, but I also think there's a lot more that can be done to help that awareness. And we, at Dext, we also have our practice solutions experts team, which is also accountants as well, but more partner client facing, to try and help them on this and greater awareness. So we've got to continue to let our users know about this and how the functionality works and how it can help them, because I am sure all accountants have got clients who are expanding into online digital sales. We're also seeing this drive to outsource more to the accountant or bookkeeper. So we've got this sort of the rise of the virtual finance function, whatever you want to call it, or the rise of the outsourced bookkeeping solution. And that's where it's really important that the individual doing the work is looking at what are the systems and processes that we need to have in place that can ensure that this service we're offering is as streamlined as possible. So we are working internally very much on how can we educate more and more of our partners in terms of how these products, all three products, can really make a difference.
Yeah, I agreed. I think awareness and education is still the biggest thing that we can all do. I think SMEs are getting better. They are getting more awareness, but I think there's still so many businesses we speak to who don't even know these types of tools exist.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think we can do a lot by just even talk about not offering them, not even selling them, just talking about there's some tools which can make life easier. 100%.
I think I won't say this for everybody, but I'm probably I am a terrible salesperson. I'm not sure many accountants are that confident when it comes to sort of pricing and selling. And I think you can achieve the same as all accountants do when they're putting new proposals together or speaking to potential new clients. It's about the value that it adds and what problem is this solving, or how are we helping somebody achieve their goal. It's the same process, and they're nice conversations to have. You can get passionate about. I could talk for hours about all three products, and you know, the more I talk about it, the more excited I can get about some of them, because I know how powerful they can be and the opportunities they create.
We mentioned a bit about integration with the general ledgers, and I'm not going to ask you to list them all because it sounds pretty comprehensive. And obviously, there's some different integrations with Dext Commerce, but essentially, you're integrating with all the key players, right, in terms of that general ledger world.
And this is the thing which always appealed to me when I was in practice, because most practices, they don't go 100% down one route. You may have some clients on one system, other clients on another. So Dext Precision's the easy one at the moment, because that is Xero and QBO.
Yeah.
You've then got Dext Prepare, and we integrate with over 20 different products, and we also have secondary integrations, so you can integrate with something like Approval Max as well.
Yeah.
So if you needed a more comprehensive approval system, you can integrate via that path as well. And then we've got Dext Commerce, which actually has two levels of integration, because we've got the integration pulling data from the online digital platforms, and we've probably got about 20 or so there. And then we've got the integration to take that data and put it into your accounting system. And for the UK, that's Xero and QBO as well specifically, but we're working on more integrations on both sides of that for commerce, actually.
One of the challenges I'm seeing at the moment, just in general, it's not even a specific sort of Dext conversation, but obviously these features grow, like, you know, there's more integrations, there's more modules, there's more, the features and the modules actually improve and they advance as they go through. Yet we can see stagnation with the tools. So like, let's take auto publish, like we spoke earlier. You can have a client sat on this system for 2, 3, 4, 5 years and they still use it like the day it was implemented or they were trained on. And I think at the moment that's a real challenge. It's so quick moving. You know, if you were to reassess once a year all of your clients for what more they could do with the tools they've got, and I'm talking across the piece here, I think that's a real SaaS challenge at the moment, about how you keep delivering or showing the relevant types of changes to the product which would help a business. And I think I call it optimization, but I see this as a real challenge. Have you thought about it, or have you seen, you know, even for the SaaS products, right? It's an issue because you're delivering more and more, but if people aren't utilizing it, it's like it could be used, it's potential use, but we want them to actually use these elements of it. Yeah,
definitely. I think about it a lot. And one of the phrases I used to use, actually, it was when I was in practice, is that people still try and do sort of old school accounting in new technology.
Yeah.
So, you know, they use Prepare, but they're still checking everything. And they're not fully aware of, actually, by flicking that switch there, you don't need to be checking everything. You know, so I think there's a number of aspects here. I think there's a trust and confidence aspect that across all products, that it takes time to build up that trust and confidence in that it does do what it says, and it is highly accurate, or it is providing the right insights. I think the big thing for me is the importance of attending some of the events that are starting again. We've got a number of events coming up with Accountex first, then Digital Accounting Show, and XeroCon is probably one after that, and I suspect there'll be some in the autumn months as well. So being able to speak to peers, speaking to the software providers as well, I think is really, really important. And then also, one of the things I did was on social media, whatever was in my app stack at the time, I would follow them on LinkedIn or Twitter, and I'd actually turn on the notifications. So when there was a notification, it would at least pop up. I could see it, because if it went in via an email, it often just got lost. Whereas if I saw it pop up on my phone, I would at least have a reminder that actually something's been released, something's there. Also look at the websites, you know, lots of these websites as well, they have product updates there. The challenge is there's a huge amount to take in, and often the person who's making themselves accountable or responsible for it don't actually have the time to keep up to date. So I think there's a real opportunity to empower somebody else in the team, share the app stack out amongst the team, ask them to also build up the relationship with the provider I used to have relationships with everyone who from within our app stack, and maybe just a quarterly call just to make sure that I was aware of everything. But it got to the point it was too much, so I delegated it and gave other individuals the opportunity.
Yeah, I was at a couple of sessions last week actually, and it was really interesting. One chap was saying he was quite overwhelmed because he's the only person who knows this stuff. And I was like, actually, and he was feeling that it was too late in the day in some of these projects to bring them in, the extra people. And I was like, well, the answer is to bring some people in earlier. But really, you know, as soon as somebody opens their mouth about, I need a solution, or I'm thinking about how I could do things differently, that person's got to be there with you at that point. And I think a lot of people fall into this trap. And over the years, we've sort of been involved.
I did.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we do that. But from a firm's perspective, when you put the onus on one person, you get a single point of failure. That, you know, Matt's done it all for 5 years. They leave. Where there's still no experience, all that experience is gone. So it's really important that firms think about this a bit more strategically, rather than here's a body, they can do it, and then they lose all the experience.
100% is really important. And relationships, we'll always talk about relationships being important. Relationships with your clients are really important, and clients like those relationships. It's just as important for you to have those relationships with your software provider as well. Because they will help you on your journey. They will also get other insights, because they're speaking to lots of other firms as well. And so they're picking up things constantly. So that relationship is just as important as your client relationship to ensure, you know, continued success.
Yeah, absolutely. So if there's anybody on the call at the minute, on this call, so I'm going to call on this podcast or listen to this at whatever point, you guys have a full partner program for accountants and bookkeepers, right? It's a key. They're a key partner for you.
Yes.
And you've got a full partner team that helps out with the onboarding and the ongoing relationship. So people can get in touch with that partner team and start to build that relationship up with you.
Yeah, if they should definitely reach out if they've got queries. We've got a whole team there. Depending on the size, as with anything, depends on whether we'll come out and even help you on the onboarding, or whether it's more distant support. As I'm sure everyone appreciates, it's the same with your own clients that you look after. You can't provide the same level to everybody always.
Yeah, absolutely. Fully agree. So we'll put those notes in the areas. And then in terms of just for anybody who's sort of thinking of engaging, and as you say, some will get the service because of the size, and others will have to work with you on a sort of remote and distance element. Have you guys got an online training platform and an area people can go and sort of frequent with the products and stuff?
We do, and you can sign up for a free trial on all of the products, and you can have a play around. There's support guides. I'm actually working with the team at the moment to try and ensure that we've got the right material to really help, but we are very much focused on providing the right information to allow somebody to go at their own pace in a way.
Yeah.
I remember when I was signing up to things that things happen, urgent other matters come into play, and it doesn't mean that you've taken your eye off the ball. It just means that you've prioritized, and it's right to prioritize. So our website provides a huge amount of content and information that can help you make the first steps. But we do have an amazing team who can help you, support you, give you some good ideas from the right direction of how to approach something. Because I know from my early days, what I tried to do was too much too soon.
Yeah.
And if you try and do too much too soon, it often leads into you feeling overwhelmed. You feel like you failed. It's a horrible place to be. So having a good structure, a good plan in place will ultimately lead to a better outcome.
Definitely. I think the element of that as well is that you go to the Xero cons and the Accountexes and the QB Connects and all the other digital accountancy show, all the good shows that we have. And you know, I think everyone who's in this space all advocates going to those just to pick up some tips and tricks, see the latest, but also to engage with some other like-minded people, which is really important. But you can get after that, you can get the overwhelm, right? That you know you've been round, you've been scammed, you've then got 16 phone calls, 16 emails, and everyone used to joke about it. You know, that's what we're going to do. We were probably joking about that when you were on the other side. Now you're realizing that the pressures that go on with that. But again, it's not a bit like we're talking about clients. For you as a firm, those 16 solutions might be right for you, but it's just not the right time. And I think this is the same with clients. It's like sometimes I think that firms are thinking, well, I'm going to mention this, and they're all going to say that's the product for me straight away. It's actually a bit of a nurture and education process that, you know, here's a couple of systems I'd like to show you. This is the benefits they'll bring to you. This is how they help serve you better. And it could be right products, wrong time, and there's nothing wrong with re-engaging on that conversation, you know, 6 months down the line, a year down the line, 2 years down the line. And I think sometimes we get, if they don't say yes straight away, we think, oh, that's it, they weren't interested. So I think, you know, you've got to be mindful of that like you said, sometimes it's the right product but not the right time. It's the same for clients, right?
It's exactly the same. And I remember attending shows in the past and, you know, people saying, oh, sign up. And just like, look, I love the products, whatever the product was at the time, it's just not quite right, but stay in touch.
Yeah.
You know, and can you keep me updated? I would say it to the vendor, the seller, saying, look, but please do just send me stuff, newsletters, whatever, because I want to know where things are moving, you know. And also it kept me on my toes a bit as well, so I didn't forget. I generally didn't, but you know, when you start implementing new technology, building out the app stack, whatever it may be, you've got to remember you've got to dedicate the time to it as well, because if you don't dedicate the time and put the investment in, you won't get the outcomes you're expecting. And you know, often the tendency can be, well, the product didn't do what I thought it did. Whereas, you know, I used to know deep down myself, it wasn't the product, it was actually me not actually putting in the effort or the time that was needed to ensure the success.
Yeah, I've heard it before where you'll hear people say, oh, that product doesn't work. And I'm always in consideration, it's pretty absolute. A product works or it doesn't. It can't not work for some and work for others. Either yes, it works, or no, it doesn't. So if somebody's getting some joy with a particular product, and that means the product works. Now, whether it works for the masses or whatever is a separate conversation, but it does work. It's working out how you work with the product and what you deliver from that, and whether you can build a service around that product that you're happy to deliver. So yeah, I think there is a lot of that where I hear it go, oh, the product doesn't work, and you're like, not sure that's quite right, actually.
And because it's a natural instinct, I think, because you know deep down things aren't going according to plan. But you know, often you need to, it's the time, and time is precious, and it may be short-term pain because you're putting more time pressure on yourself, but then you'll start to see the benefits and you'll start clawing all of this time back in other areas.
Also, I mean, it's a dedication of once I need to learn this, but I'll understand this product some more, but then it's a continual learning about that product, right? So it's like 3 months later, there's going to be an update or some cool stuff which is going on I need to know. So it's one, taking the update in, and then two, outputting the update to whoever's relevant, whether that's internal colleagues, whether it's external clients. So there's time alongside that as well, which never really gets factored in.
No, and one thing I used to do, which shows you how much I really enjoyed sort of all this tech, was I used to spend my evenings, if there was a product I was interested in, clicking on everything. I'd click on everything I could see, just to see if it opened something up or whether it did something I wasn't expecting. And that's how I really start to build up my knowledge, going, oh, actually, I didn't realize it did this. It's this element, which is the bit I'm more interested in now, not this bit I thought was the reason to use it. But again, takes time. And, you know, I'm not saying everyone should do that on their evenings, but maybe if there's someone in the team, give them an afternoon
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
look, I just really want you to sit down and have a real good look and play of this solution,
Yeah.
and let us know where you see it fits and what it could do.
Yeah. Dedicating some time and understanding it needs time is really important. Right, on that, we will finish our time to be to keep in compliance with our time slots that we are putting to this. Paul, that's been brilliant to catch up. Great to hear the two sides of the fence. So thanks a lot for giving us your time today.
Really enjoyed it.
I will see you at Accountex or XeroCon or
I'm sure you will.
Digital Accountancy Show or somewhere very soon, and we'll have a drink to have a catch up.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
Cheers, Paul. For everybody else, make sure you subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the normal podcast platforms, and give us a little review if you want to. If you've got any questions or anything, please fire them in as well via the social media channels. But for today, we'll call it a day. Cheers, Paul.
Cheers, Matt. Thank you.